Well, welcome. I am very excited to be speaking to you virtually and know that I will get to speak to you now and for decades to come at conferences and in other meetings. You've each mined this program and gotten from it things that you needed to be a wholly functioning and wholly excellent student affairs professional. Oh, I am proud to call you my new colleagues. I will certainly be sad to see you leave. I look forward to seeing you in years to come and to hearing about your many accomplishments. So, thanks.
Our time is ever on the road to ride us in what we make. I walk to hear how this give and take. But hear it this way, hear it this way. Alright. War is in our hearts and blood is in the land we love. We keep breaking our backs, hoping that it gives enough. Oh, what do you need? What do you
One of the things that I really enjoy about the HESA program is really the close-knit atmosphere of the group, whether it's within the cohort, within the program, and the faculty and people involved in the HESA village.
My favorite memory of the HESA program is when we went to the ropes course, and I had grown up around ropes courses at camp, and I just kind of naturally started helping everyone, and afterwards I realized that that was not a typical thing to know how to do, especially when people started calling it Kira's Playground.
When the Glasgow Five went to Scotland last summer, it was an amazing experience, and we had a lot of great professional development and did wonderful things in Glasgow.
Right after we completed our assessment presentations, and we were at Christine's house, and someone started passing something around, and it was this button that said competent.
Attending grad prom with a bunch of other HESAs. This is our lovely picture right here. We were able to dance and have free food, which is also one of my favorite things.
My favorite piece of memory is basketball and winning 2 national championships. Boom, boom, just like Shabazz.
Winning the women's basketball championship twice and watching both of those games from Gamble Pavilion with some HESAs and fellow colleagues.
I went over to Joey and Gail's apartment, and they had the bright idea of us going outside and getting the snow from the ground to make snow ice cream, and I let them convince me that it was something that everyone did, and mixing it with milk and sugar, and it was actually the most disgusting thing I've ever consumed.
Sitting up on Horse Barn Hill, overlooking campus, waiting for a meteor shower. It was one of the first times we got to hang out with the new cohort, and a majority of both cohorts were there. And we stayed out on the hill for several hours looking for these stars that may or may not have appeared, to be determined.
Every time that Ben Jones gasps, like, oh! I'll be, oh my god, Ben, what's wrong? And he's like, I dropped my pen. And it happens multiple times in a class.
Or any time, any class experience particularly, where there's a quote that's come of it, and now we've been able to use it kind of throughout our HESA experience. So from, you do you, you do you, you do you.
You do you.
You do you. Richness and access.
One of the biggest takeaways that I have from participating in the HESA program is the ability to have intentional conversations with my students.
All of the great people that I got to work with over the past 2 years from the cohort who is here before us to the cohort who came in after us. But most of all, my 19 wonderful cohort mates who I've created a lot of memories with, learned a lot next to, and I know will be great colleagues in the future and hugely successful professionals.
And the experiential learning I've received. The skills I've developed have prepared me for the many challenges that lie ahead.
And it's definitely all the friendships I've made in this cohort. I think coming in, we talk about a cohort model and how you're going to have lots of different friends that you're going to meet and people that you have in class, but I've really come to value all of the different relationships I have with people.
I really value my assessment skills. Assessment was a very long process, a full year, but we walked away from that experience knowing how to do qualitative and quantitative assessment, and that will be invaluable in our careers moving forward.
Is when we learned in law class that the hardest decisions to make are right versus right decisions, because anyone can make a decision between something that's ethical and not ethical, but when two of your most competing values are in conflict, that's when the decision is the hardest to make.
The ability to have intentional conversations with students to really talk about those difficult topics, whether it's student conduct or alcohol and other drugs or academics, and be able to help them succeed while they're here at UCONN.
It's really a quality education and great practical experiences and a wonderful network of professionals for the rest of my career.
It's the end of the road. It's been a pleasure getting to know you all. You'll be missed. Everything leaves a mark, and all of you are no different. As you go out in the world and do great things, and you will, you can't help it, know that we'll be thinking about you. We'll be wishing you all the best, and hoping that you'll always remember to, in the immortal words of Sue Saunders, dig deeper, and of course, be reflective practitioners. Enjoy. All the best.
So I would like you to take a minute and go back in time with me on a journey. I want you to think about the first 4 weeks of our structured groups class. You may recall that for each class, I brought you something. That's because I think it's really important that we always give to others. And so by giving you something physical, I was hoping that you would take something from that class with you and remember something from that class, a little piece of me. I think it's really important that throughout our lives, we give to others, because when you give to others, you truly benefit yourself. I want you all to know that I have benefited from knowing you, and that I will fondly remember you all my life. Thank
you. Written on these walls are the colors that I can't change. Leave my heart open, but it stays right here in its cage. I know that in the morning now, see us in the light upon the hill. Although I am broken, my heart is untamed still. And I'll be gone, gone tonight. Fire beneath my feet is burning bright. The way that I've been holding on so tight, with nothing in between. The story of my life, I'll take her home. I'll drive all night to keep her is like chasing the clouds. The story of my life, I take her home, I drive all night to keep her warm, and time is frozen. The story of my life, I give her up, I spend her love until she's broken inside. The story of my life, the story of my life, the story of my life, the story of my life.
As I close out this video, I just wanted to say thank you to the 19 individuals who I've spent the last 2 years growing and learning with. We have done so much together. We have created a lot of great memories. We have laughed together, we have cried together, and now we are all moving forward together. So I ask that you not look on this moment with sadness or with pain, because we are going to see each other again in the future, and I know that. And I ask that as we move forward in the next stage of our lives, that we remember all the great things that we did here, and always remember to be happy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to